felt my soul like leaving my body. Like I just didn't feel aligned and connected. Spreadsheets and, the things that I got into that work to help people wasn't really what I was doing anymore.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you today. I've got a wonderful guest, and this is someone, again, what really hit me and learning more about her today, and maybe I had heard it before, but it's someone that was, legally blind, early in life, and so I can't wait to hear more about all these things, but she's had all kinds of challenges, including things like that she's moved through in her life. And now she helps other people to move through the physical, issues that are coming up, but it's all based on our consciousness, right? So, sometimes it's like, what are you telling me? My MS or this or that is my fault, or, and it's not about fault, guys. It's just, if you ever have studied, maybe Rama talk about this too, like, right now, I've been reading the old Carolyn Meese or whatever. Yeah, right. Her book or whatever. I don't even know what book I'm reading, but whatever. That old time one. She'll know what it is. We'll bring it on in a second. But like, anyway, I'm just reading that. She's just like so crystal clear. Like she's just like, yeah, everything comes down to your conscious. It's all your consciousness. So like, she's been doing for decades. She didn't ask to be a medical medium, intuitive or whatever. She just like not really like not directly, but like she just her gifts just came on and it was just crystal clear to her. So my point is, we're adding in legitimacy that the fact is the matter does have to do with consciousness, even if we can find other causes. Well, it's your diet, it's this and that. Sure, everything influences. So guys, I'm getting right into the juicy content right away. She's the expert. She puts you on a higher timeline and path in a place that in a multidimensional ways that help you to not have to do so much work, make it so hard to try to get healthy, healed, and whole and wealthy too. And so I'm grateful to have her on the show today. I know she's got incredible gifts, and we'll be talking also about how she can accelerate her own business as well as part of the show. So hang on to your hats for that one. That'll be fun because that can help give you clues to your business as well. So Rama, with all that being said, I'm very grateful you're on the show today.
Thank you. It's a blessing, and I'm grateful to be here today with all of you. Thank you.
And so, yeah, you have had an incredible journey and with health and all that stuff. And I know you've probably shared these stories a million times, just like me, right? We're gonna get into it again. And yeah, I was on. By the way, I'll plug it up front. We'll do the plug early. I was on her summit, which we'll be talking about later, but. She'll tell you more about it later, but I've been on one of her summits recently, which will be coming out in the next 2, 3 weeks. You gotta check that out in the show notes right away. Click on that, do the thing. Let's just get it out of the way. But we'll get into that later. But I'd love to hear about your story. I always tell my story a bit, probably when I was on your show. I don't remember how much, but yeah, I'd love to hear about your background. What brought you into doing this work?
Yeah, it's an interesting story because I did not know anything about this type of work. And so I'm a medical intuitive, quantum healer, functional nutrition coach, and ascension guide. I help people, with all the multidimensional aspects of healing and awakening and living in their highest alignment and highest purpose and highest timeline. And so I knew nothing about any of this. I was very kind of indoctrinated in the mind and thinking, using my mind for everything and really hadn't dropped down into my body or dropped down into my heart, and was really living in that kind of framework in the field of public health. And was leading multi-million dollar grants and running programs and just felt my soul like leaving my body. Like I just didn't feel aligned and connected. Spreadsheets and, the things that I got into that work to help people wasn't really what I was doing anymore. I was working on budgets and programs and things that just did not spark any interest, let alone did I feel connected to being able to assist people in what they're going through. And it really led me to have to sit down and look at my path and what I was doing, because at the same time that I was having these realizations like this, what I'm doing is not working for me, my body started to collapse. Like I just was in chronic pain, migraines every day. I couldn't eat any food. My body would not digest, not clear any food, toxic buildup, everything was going on. Um, autoimmune diseases, you name it, it was what was happening with me, and chronic pain and fibromyalgia. Just the whole body was saying, "Hey, what's going on? Like we need some support." And of course, I was doing what, most of us do. We go to the doctors and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And we get nothing. We get like, "Well, we don't know. Try this medication, try this." But of course, none of that was working, right? Because it was um, really an inside job and things that I needed to look at with my life and look at how I was perceiving experiences that had happened to me in the past and happening to me now and what could happen in the future. And really having a hard look at why I felt no joy. And that was a big turning point for me, was just realizing like I have no feeling of joy. I could not explain what that felt like. I felt like I didn't have emotions that were available for the expression of love. So all of that was really kind of keeping me in a dark place, which, as I started my awakening journey, turned out to be the reasons that I was having so many of the health issues I was experiencing, right? So I always say, and I know this is the topic, is your body is your consciousness in physical form. So if you are feeling a lot of pain in your body, what's going on in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in the projections of your reality, the assumptions of if your life is going well or not going well, all the things that we tell ourselves that can really lead us into a dark place and a heavy place, and those emotions and those traumas, and reliving what has brought us into that state in the first place, and really having this like anger, frustration with our bodies, resentment, all that stuff, because we feel unhealthy, unwell, not able to sleep, whatever you might be going through, how that really ties into holding us back and holding that density in our bodies. So I went through all of that. I quit my job. I went on my spiritual healing journey, again, not knowing what was even available to me. And through that process, I really kind of dove into seeing what was inside, seeing what were some of the issues that were coming up, and really working through them to dissolve the heart walls, which that was the big thing. Like we all have this trauma, and it can be small t's, big t's, it doesn't even matter, but that we've experienced that when we do that, we build up the walls around us. Like, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm not going to let this experience happen again. I'm not going to be in this situation with this person, all the different kinds of things. And what happens is you stop feeling emotions. You stop feeling the good emotions, the joy, the love, the peace, all of those types of things. And so I really had to look at that, tear down those heart walls, and start opening up to gratitude, start opening up to, meditation, and feeling inside my body and communicating with my body with love and appreciation, and so many other things that really helped open me up to my spiritual gifts, to communication with my guides, and my ability as a medical intuitive. So all of that opened up once I was able to tear down the heart walls and really feel in, breathe in, experience in, change my mindset and my thoughts and beliefs, and allow myself to feel, healthy, healed, and whole. And then that allowed me to do the work I do today, and help others on that journey. And I also want to say, so you mentioned I was legally blind when I was younger. I still am. So I was
Okay.
born that
I
way.
wasn't sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was born that way. It's genetic. From my whole dad's side of the family is legally blind. So that is not something I've been able to heal because that is a part of my spiritual journey. And my guides had told me that, like that's a part of being able to open your third eye was not relying on my physical eyes. So that was really a
Mhm.
part of this process. So as much as I would love to be able to see like everybody else, that's just not in my path. And I think there is a spiritual reason for that.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. So, yeah. And so, yeah, I didn't know one way or another if it shifted, but I know you know, overcome that in a sense, right? Like everybody who might be in that category has to work with that. And I knew you would have tried to heal it. And so, and worked with it. But like, if you've been told like that this is part of your path, at least up till now, right? Like we never know when the guidance could change at some point, right? Like, all right, it's time to see on all levels. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you're open to it, right? That'd be pretty phenomenal if that wanted to happen too. But yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you have had, you said other, many other, number of other health issues that creeped up for you, and you talked about heart walls and things like that. So can you tell us more about the conditions you particularly had, and then how the heart walls, tell us more about what those are, and what ones, typically show up would be great that create health conditions. Yeah.
Yeah. So, heart walls in it's interesting because it can be your experiences, but it can also be your ancestral, what you've brought in through the ancestors and your lineage. It can be past lives. So there are many different things, and it can even be other dimensions that you're experiencing right now that's affecting your heart wall. So there can be many different things all tied into making it so you have fear, you have anger, you have resentment, um, you have shame, you have grief, all of those kind of lower vibration emotions, which then we're protecting ourselves. So that's why there's walls, right? So we're protecting ourselves from having things happen to us that we don't want to experience. And so when we build that up, it seems like it's doing a good thing, right? We're protecting ourselves because we don't want those bad things to happen or perceive that they could happen in the future. But the problem is that when we do that, we're really blocking off our intuition. We're blocking off our connection to all, to the universe, to, everyone else that we can come in contact with because we are not able to be our authentic self. We're not able to give and receive love, and have those experiences of grace and gratitude and joy and all the things that really help us to live this life the best way we possibly can. And, we're here to experience all these emotions. And that's actually a gift, like
Mhm.
that's a gift to be able to have, joy, but also frustration, but also, elation, but, and run the gamut of it. And it's really about stabilizing into our vessel and bringing that energy into a resonant field. And so that's kind of how we need to work through those heart walls. And I help people to assess isn't the right word, but like I feel into what's causing some of those heart walls, and I work on with them to be able to remove them and see, are they ancestral? Are they theirs? How is this coming into being? And this is just a part of the process, like with the coaching that I do. It's a part of the process, but then we still have to work through everything too to remove what is the thought process, is the emotions, is the nervous system dysregulation, all the things that keep us in that fight, flight, freeze, which is very tied into how we and why we have the heart walls. And then with the illnesses and dis-ease that people experience, so, we have this plethora of autoimmune right now, and we've kind of been taught to look at it in a way that's actually inaccurate. So we hear it's our bodies attacking ourselves. That's what, the medical
Mhm.
world
Yeah.
says. And it makes us be more of a victim, and it makes
Mm.
us feel more like our bodies are working against us. I mean, that's what we think about. That's what that means. It's attacking us. Oh no, it's attacking us. But really, what it's doing is it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. But we're having things happen with our nervous system, things happening with our digestion, things happening um, through a whole cascade of other issues that are going on tied to our emotions, tied to how we're perceiving the world and how we're reacting to things that's causing the toxins to flood through our system and to dysregulate. And if we have a leaky gut, things like that, which I help people with as well, if they're going through the digestive issues and their energy centers, if that's going into the bloodstream and it's recirculating through the body, your body is saying like this is not supposed to be here. And so it's doing the process of trying to help you with that foreign substance that's not supposed to be there, which then causes the inflammation, which then causes all the other things to start happening because it's a cascade of symptoms. But the underlying is that we need to do something about, what's going on with those thoughts, emotions, nervous system, and how your body is processing all of that, to
Mhm.
really get down to how we can move through those types of illnesses. And that is something that I experienced. And so inflammation, like I said, digestive, couldn't digest any food. I was having all of the autoimmune symptoms. So I was having all of that. And that was really led me down a process of figuring out what's going on and how I could heal that, that skyrocketing symptom cytokine, you know, flood and flow of energies that we're not wanting to have that's bringing us into
Right.
this dis-ease state.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I like to watch videos on longevity, of all different types, actually, not just the biohackers, but I also like to watch like the Blue Zone, all these, like a lot of them are AI generated, like, you know, eat, here's how you build your plate and all those type of ones. But they're very informative. They are helpful. And I like to keep it in my consciousness, right? Like on that level too of health, like, okay, remember these things. It's because the advertising out there is so crazy. Like, you're not really living your life unless you have some Doritos, like have a Coke and a smile or whatever, have your Happy Meal and all these things where you literally are hypnotized, by it. And we do more than we realize, right? We say, oh, that doesn't work on me. Let's go to McDonald's. So yeah, they were doing it anyway. So, but my point of bringing that up was that I think like when you study like when I do the blue zones, for example, and stuff like that, like they have a purpose. They've got something to live for, that's part of like the longevity aspect, but like then good health, right? Like they tend to have much longer whatever health span. They get all different terms for it nowadays, but like all different type of terms for it. But anyway, and then you've got like the other aspect they always talk about is the social, right? Like they have community, social and the energy of that. And I so much so that some of them are wise enough to realize like that community, that energy, the lifestyle, the naps, even in some cultures, right? Like that energy is even more important than what they're putting in their mouths. Like that energy. Not maybe not all of them say that, but like a lot of them are leaning that way nowadays that have been going on about nutrition. They're like, well, actually, these social connections and being a certain way of your energy really is what it comes out to. Like, really is the big deal here. And like, yeah, all this other stuff matters, but like it's doesn't matter as much because there's always somebody, right? They just say, oh, they got the good genes, but they smoke a cigar every day, they bake in the start every day or whatever, and they live to be 101 or whatever, healthy overall, like for a 101-year-old, right? And so there's always a story, but everybody just says it's the genes. But I think like there's more to it. Like those people I've met that have these long lifespans and are overweight even and all this stuff, like that are in good shape, like maybe even skydiving at 90 or whatever, like I see like they are excited about life. They're like got a lot of social connections and they just have a whole different attitude, I think is more probably responsible than, genes because they've done studies, right? Like, well, let's see how you do. Let's put you in an environment where you don't have those sort of things so easily accessible. And it makes a big difference. You start to see the difference. It's not just like what your genetic material is, right? So I think like my point is there's a lot of science, you know probably a lot more about it than I do, but like there's a lot of science out there that proves this is more responsible. They talk about in other terms like social connection and stuff, but this is actually more informative even than all those other things. They're saying, take this pill, that supplement. The blue zones, they don't do any of that stuff. Like they just live a good life.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. So many of us, and I'm sure there's many people listening who feel that they have to push, strive, be the best, work the long hours, do all the things. And what that really is a trauma response and like a feeling like you're worthy, you're good enough, that people are going to find you. Y- you know, that's how you have to succeed is to be in that kind of stress always state, always pushing, striving, and so forth. And that is very tied to disease formation too, because it's the stress. And when we're in that state, we're less likely to spend time with people that we love in like a de-stressed moment or to partake in activities that we enjoy because we're always doing for what we feel like we need to do in our careers or whatever else helps with, that believing that you're belonging and you're doing what you need to do to be a productive citizen, all the things we've been programmed for. And what we've seen is that so many people have now completely disconnected. Like they don't have a community, they don't have friends. They are at home by themselves most of the time. They are not going out and interacting in the world, and they don't feel connected. And that is a huge part in what you're bringing up. That's a huge part of that belief that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we don't want to put in the effort because it's not going to work out the way we want, all those types of things, or people don't understand me, like, or I'm too sick to go out and be a part of the world, or, whatever it might
Too
be.
busy,
And
yeah.
yeah, too busy. And that's really causing so much of the separation that we're seeing in the politics. Of course, that's not helping either, with this side and that side.
Right.
But that is really separating us so much from our communities, and we are social beings and we need to have, social support, we need to have connections. And we see a lot of people with a lot of depression now, a lot of anxiety. I mean, these are some of the main illnesses that we see, traditionally nowadays, and people are on medications from, which, I'm not going to go down that road, but that's a whole nother thing that's kind of putting a band-aid on something that is not meant for just the band-aid. And so I do see that. That is a big part of having those emotions stuck in us and feeling like we don't fit in, we're not connected, we're not worthy, all those types of things that again, those are traumas and those are trauma responses. And so working through those, and that's part of tearing down the heart walls, is opening yourself up to being connected to others and seeing how that can work in your life.
Right, and partly why I bring this up too is because there's a lot of some where there's all the different they say the silos of information, right? And somebody like just eat a cup of blueberries every day, or just eat the sauerkraut or do that. It's a good. I mean, I do those whatever. I don't do those specific protocols, but like I do what those I lean into those things completely. And yet I know like that's just one part of the picture. If you're stressed about how many blueberries you ate today, you may not, even live as long and you're not going to be as happy. Like, oh my God, I didn't get my full cup. I'm going to die early, right? I mean, it can turn into a whole thing in itself. It's a whole nother thing. And so I think like what you're doing with helping people with the underlying, embedded stuck, unreleased emotions, right? Especially like very toxic ones like anger and rage and frustration and resentment. That's the big key because that's what's keeping us from building those heart walls, right? And keeping people from really being able to connect with people, even their current relationships. So, Can you tell us some more about how those particular locked up emotions really are affecting our health?
Yeah. So a big part of this is the nervous system. So that is a big reason that so many people are having the problems that they're having physically is due to their nervous system and all those emotions, being the low vibration emotions that are kicking off this sympathetic, which is fight, fight, fleas, even fawn mechanisms in our body when we're in that state all the time. If you're doing things like what they're saying, like eat the blueberries or whatever the case is,
Mhm.
um, those might be good recommendations. But if our body is dysregulated, whatever we're putting into it is not being absorbed. Because those things can also cause all the digestive issues and, with being able to absorb the nutrients, digest all, the whole flow of your system is dysregulated when your nervous system is dysregulated because you're in a fight, flight, freeze, which means digestion is like something that is not going to happen as well, and then all those things can be circulating throughout the body. So when you're having those emotions, and that's your normal emotions, like you're going through your day, and you might not even think you're an angry person or a resentful person, but if you're having self-talk that to yourself is not good, that's still the same type of thing. If you are judging other people, that's also not the same thing. Or if you're feeling like life is so hard, people don't understand me, and you're constantly in that cycle of like, I'm going to tell my story over and over and over again until someone understands me, and you don't get that understanding, you're still in that cycle. So all of those things are tying into what can be causing you to not be regulated enough to have all the other functions in your body work properly. And so when you start to recognize that, when you start to look at like, maybe these things happen to me, but I'm not those things. Like there's more to me than what happened to me in the past or what I'm afraid of in the future. Like in the moment, how do you want to feel? How do you want to live? How do you want to be? What kind of relationships do you want to have? And when we kind of focus on that and like the past was the past, it was a story. I went through it, and I know some of us have had really, really, really bad pasts, and there's been a lot of things. But when we hold on to that and keep repeating that, then that not only becomes our story, it even becomes our personality. So now we are our illness. Now we are our trauma. Like when people see us and they talk to us, that's what they know us as, right?
Yeah.
And so really being able to look at that and say, that happened to me and that wasn't awesome, and feel through, let it move through the body, those emotions that you were holding on to, then you can actually start, being in the present, being in your full bodied alignment and kind of releasing those things that have been keeping you stuck in that cycle. Because when I work with people and I ask, the questions, and they go through their story, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that was awful. I'm so sorry that you went through all of that. But then I ask like, how would you be different now though if you didn't go through that? Do you like the person you are now? Like, do you see that maybe some of that happened for a reason and it was sucky? I get it. I get it was sucky. We've all had a lot of trauma, more than others. But when you look at it and you're in that present moment with it, did it teach you things that now you use as part of your purpose, as
Hmm.
part of how you, um, can give yourself grace, or you can see like, wow, I've overcome so much, and look at how I am moving forward in this world and feeling, comfortable in that. And so when we can start to see that we're not a victim, but we had an experience that led us to being our best self as we're moving forward, um, that changes everything. It really does. Because when we have that, victim mentality, we're just in the resentment, we're in the fear, we're in the anger, we're in the frustration, we're in the, all of those emotions that just keep us cycling and keep us in that loop of not being able to heal our bodies or to feel aligned or connect with people.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and that's all again, all very scientific. I mean, all the studies are there, that show that when you're in stressed energy and emotions, it's going to create stress in the body, and it's going to, yeah, the gut health and the digestive abilities or whatever, like so many levels, right? It's going to affect your plaque buildup. It's going to affect your, whatever, all the things you could think about. It's going to lead to if you're stressed, like I was, I mean, again, it's one big study, but like there's so many studies I hear about. Okay, if you don't get exactly, and I don't believe in that either. It's all averages too, but like you don't get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, then you're too much under that. If you go too much over that, you're kind of screwed. You're gonna increase diseases or dementia is the latest one I saw and everything. I'm like. Okay, well, that's the only factor, man. I might be screwed. I don't always get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But I mean, I strive to, so to speak, or I go for, been sleeping better. I mean, but yeah, I used to have more and more jags where I'd sleep 4 hours or whatever it was, and different ones, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say without babbling on here is that. Yeah, all those things are factors, but I just think like there's this transcendent energy we can connect to that kind of goes beyond all of that. And I think that's as we get into the next half of the show, I'm going to talk about that because I feel like you do help people with that, with this highest timeline activator stuff. And you do help people with other things. You help people, like I help healer types, and you do some of that sort of work as well. And that, help other people with that. And that could be part of, like you said, that is. I don't know if you said it here, but like, you stepping into your gifts like is part of your healing process. So we want to get into all that as we go into the second half of the show. Maybe you being the healer and finally using your gifts is part of your healing process. So we're going to get into that real soon. But before we do that, I would love for you to let people know more about, you've got a free gift for everybody. You've got a couple of different things that are you're offering, including the summit opportunity as well all these incredible people you brought together for an incredible summit. I'd love for you to share about those two opportunities for people first.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about these. So the first one in something I hadn't talked about within the body is that our lower chakras, so the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra are very tied into our connection with our body and our feeling safe and our connection to our tribe and connection to one-on-one and our purpose. And so in this meditation, it is really bringing you into like a peace connection and alignment energy that's working with your energy centers to try to help, bring that back into alignment. And so that's what the one of the free gifts is the peace, connection, and alignment meditation. It's a guided meditation. The guides come in, and this has all been done so that anyone who listens to it, they're going to get the benefits of it. So the guides are coming in and walking us through this healing transformation in an energetic framework where they send in beautiful imagery, words of encouragement, all different kinds of things as they go through and work on, healing those lower chakras to help you feel more connected and aligned. So that's one of the free gifts, and it's a beautiful transmission. Um, and then the second one is I have a summit coming up, and so that's June 22nd through the 26th. It's my birthday week, so I was bringing it all in the energies of that as well, the alignment.
Nice.
And it's called Health, Wealth, and Quantum Alignment, moving the 3D body into the 5D flow, which you are, a featured speaker in there, and I'm very excited that you're there and a part of this summit. And so with that, I you can register for free. So this is available to everyone. It's the link I'm sure you'll put below. It's the 3D body 5D flow.com. And I am offering a free VIP. And so what you're going to get through the VIP once you register, the VIP, if you use code Spiritual Rockstar for this show, all caps, then you will get a free VIP, which lets you have all of the VIP recording sessions, so the experiential meditations, activations, all those types of things, as well as full access to the summit all the recordings and for the entire week. So you don't have to just do it, day by day, but you actually can use and listen to whenever what you want. And access to all the speakers' free gifts. So you're getting their free gifts, you're getting their activations and education and meditations, as well as you're getting access to all of their interviews. So it really gives you a full experience. The caveat is that the summit starts the 22nd. So for those on, listening to this podcast right now, you would need to register before the 21st and put in that VIP code of Spiritual Rockstar to get that a VIP experience. Once the summit starts, then the code's no longer available.
Okay. All right, fantastic. So we'll put those two gifts down below and the link to the summit. Which I've got to, I don't know all what it's going on in the summit, other I know when I was doing the summit material with Rob, I just remember her saying, yeah, man, I've been shit. Like the sense I got, I don't know if you use these exact words, but you're like, yeah, I've been getting lots of shifts from all these healers coming on and everything. So, but you guys are going to get that too, right? Like she was a part of that, and like, so you're going to get a lot of shifts and a lot of upgrading, by joining that summit. So I highly recommend the summit because I know that's caliber of souls that are a part of it. I don't, know them that personally, all of them, but like it's a vibration that I feel that you're getting a high calibration of healing and alignment with getting into that. Everybody says, I want to live in the 5D, right? Get in that flow, but we got to embrace the 3D at the same time, though, guys, and
Yeah.
allow for that wealth on every level, right? Financially and our health and everything. So check that out for sure. And the gift is a no-brainer, if you have those high frequency, activations and alignments and everything that you're needing right now to move forward and to yeah, so definitely take advantage of that as the bottom line. All right. So okay, so let's talk more about like this really juicy stuff that you do. Now we've got the first thing in your bio is around you do these highest timeline activations or something along those lines, right? So let's talk about how that relates to increasing your vibrancy and your physical body and your obviously your energy overall. Like, so how does that work? How are you going to activate that?
Yeah. And um, this is why I do the coaching because there
Mhm.
isn't going to be, and if anyone tells you you're going to have one session and 1 hour, one session, one whatever, and you're going to turn into this person that's living their highest timeline, they've moved into that highest reading, like that is, I'm just going to say, I don't think that's possible. Maybe it is, maybe someone can do it.
Okay, we
I
all
don't
got to stay
know.
open, right?
But I'm open to that. But
Yeah.
by and large, that's usually not going to
Right,
be the
right.
end all. And so when I'm working with people to bring them into their highest timeline, that's everything. So that's looking at their
Mhm.
health, that's looking at their money, that's looking at their relationships, that's looking at their nervous system, so all of those things. And it's really a step by step. You can't just like all of a sudden live your highest timeline, like I said, with one session. You have to look at your nervous system. You have to look at how you're seeing the world, how you're experiencing things, how you're reacting to things, how you can have better communication in your relationships. So all the different things in being confident in your visibility if you are wanting to put yourself in the world or, just in general, more confidence and more feeling authentic in who you are and how you're expressing yourself in the world. So it really is a process of, going through and seeing like what is happening with you and how we can work through to move you through into all the things that you need to work on, you need to release, we need to bring in. So it's not just about releasing too, it's also bringing in energies that are supportive. I work with my guides and angels, so we do quantum healing sessions, and they're the ones that come in and bring in these beautiful imagery. I channel as well, so there's channeled messages from galactics and guides and so forth that also can come in. So it's a full gamut of working with clients to give them all the support they need for all the different areas of their life to help them move into that process. And I know when I was going through my awakening, I didn't have someone to help me with this or to be like, yeah, when you're having this experience, that's what this means. Like I was
Mhm.
going to doctors because I'm like, I'm seeing like lights and orbs and like, and they're like eye
Mm.
doctors and they're like, nothing's wrong. And I was like, what? So, or like, I'm hearing voices. Am I losing my mind? All of this stuff
Right,
that's
right.
happening. And it's like having someone there to support you and say, like, this isn't abnormal. This is a part of the
Mhm.
process. And congratulations, all of that. And just helping move through the energy and letting that flow through you so you can see how you are a benefit to others if that's the path you're on and you want it. And it doesn't have to be even a business. It's just like
Mhm.
connecting with your family better or, connecting with
Mhm.
your friends better and building a community, but feeling
Right.
like you are worthy of being in that community and you
Mhm.
have things to share that people need to know. So that's really the highest timeline activation is just working with people to get them through, through the healing that we go through the activating, through the releasing, through the bringing in the higher energies, and really helping support them through whatever it is
Right.
that they're trying
Yeah,
to move.
not one trick is the bottom line, So there's all these different aspects that help to bring you onto that highest timeline. It's not one activation. All right, imagine your future self, you're healthy, you're whole, well, boom, you're in it, you're done. It's already on the highest timeline. We're done. You don't need anything else. You'll be fine. And that might ha work here or there, right, to clear a condition, but is it gonna, then how long does it last? Is another thing I would ask then, when you do such quick work, right? There's
Yeah.
all kinds of fantastic claims, right, that are out in the marketplace. So I think, one of the things I really love about, I would say hopefully everybody that's on this podcast, but if they're too hypey, they're probably not on my show. But yeah, so I would say pretty much all my guests, if not all, are people that are more authentic and real about what is really wanting to happen for you. So I really appreciate that about you. I know you have these different programs and ways that you serve people. So in helping you, like often I like to look at least 2xing someone's business. After that, maybe we could talk about 10x, 100x, or whatever you people want. But look at 2x first. So I know you have a couple of programs, at least last time we talked about, what you offer. And so I wanted to know more about that. And then the audience gets to know about that, guys. You want to know more about what she does, right? So I believe it, and again, tell me if I'm wrong. I believe you have a program called the Joyful Healing Program. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So I have a joyful healing coaching program. And this goes through, the things that we were talking about, but this is kind of more focused on the healing aspect. So, releasing the heart walls, bringing you into alignment, helping you with your nervous system, helping you with your diet, your lifestyle, those types of things that can bring you back into alignment in those ways. And again, that's a process, so that's why it's coaching. And starting from where you are and moving into what you're looking for your ultimate goal. And we look at everything. And so you're going to get the diet stuff, you're going to get the quantum healings, you're going to get the medical intuition, you're going to get the guides coming in supporting you. Often I have the people's own guides come through, and then they're meeting their own guide, and so they are able to build a relationship with them. There's channeled messages often. So it really depends on the person how we're going to make that progress happen. But it's looking at all of those things and getting that person to feel more aligned, more connected, opening them up to their own spiritual gifts. And so, if that's something like I want to feel more connected, I want to feel safer in my body, this is the program to help you feel more connected to the universe, your guides, to your spiritual gifts, and in your body. And loving it. And then I also do a confident visibility coaching program. And that's if you're already a healer, a soul entrepreneur type person, coach, and you are wanting to feel more confident. And we may still have to do a lot of the things in the joyful healing. So that kind of brings in some of that as well, but then focuses a big portion of that also onto like how can you feel confident putting yourself out in the world? How can I support you? Is it going through the processes of feeling confident on video? Is it feeling confident doing, podcasts? Is it feeling confident talking about yourself or being able to be clear in what your gifts are and how you want to create a business? So it's really kind of looking at how you want to put yourself out in the world more confidently so that you can have that support through bringing your mess into your message, your your process into your purpose, all that kind of stuff, so that you're able to really help people in your gifts that you have to share.
Fantastic. So let's talk about, and again, I keep thinking about because I have these sessions like everybody does these days with like ChatGPT or whatever, all the different ones, and we like trying to figure stuff out for our business on there too, right? And it's really fascinating. So I'm gonna go a little ChatGPT and just start saying, all right, this is what I'm seeing here. All right, so I'm gonna say with the Joyful Coaching Healing Program. Um, whatever it is right now, and I don't sense it is this yet, but like what I'm sensing, like for that, and again, I'm sure you're constantly downloading guidance and everything, but my guidance is like I'm getting that program is definitely a high tier program, and I would suggest, and we could talk about it, but I would suggest like this is for higher level, achievers and manifestors. Like it's not like they don't know, what they're doing or they haven't had success. It's just like they want to, they have some challenges, right? Whether it's in health or they feel particularly, stuck in that area. And they feel like it's connected to them going to their next level, maybe too, in their business. That would be great and that would be a great market for that. And I just feel like there's much more that goes into the profile of that customer. But like I just want to start there. They're cosmic types, all that stuff. But like so great. So that would be and then that program, whatever you charge for it now, what do you charge for that one right now? And what time period does it happen over and things like that? Yeah.
hmm So I have a 3-month program and a 6-month program, and people can keep coming and keep going if they want to keep, if we still have more things to work on. And so for both the joyful healing and the confident visibility, they're at the same price point. And like I said, they get very similar things, except for the confident visibility is more working on putting your work out into the world and feeling confident in, your business
Mhm.
and in your purpose and your processes and feeling secure with that. So for the 3-month, it's 2,800, and for the 6-month, it's 5,000.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So yeah, so for this particular program would go yeah, I don't know. I feel like you'd probably just settle on like a bigger program. It doesn't have to be a year long type of thing, but maybe just like, oh, it's 6 months. So I could see like that definitely being a great option if you're working again with higher level people because maybe it goes beyond like whatever their I got a back problem, I got whatever I got whatever their issues are, diabetes, etc., whatever it might be, like maybe you do clear it up, right? Like within a month or less or more, who knows? But like maybe it gets cleared up and but then there's the unraveling of so much more that's within that, right? So I feel like that's why the 6 months and you know more about it than I do, but like I just sense it. I'm like, there's always going to be more to unravel, and there's a whole journey you can map out for those higher level, type of maybe the healers, I don't know, but like higher level people is what I'm getting, like cosmic types, whether they do healing or not, I'm not sure, but all the time. But so that is what I sort of see with that, and I definitely feel like that is one of those programs where you could for people that are really at a higher level in their business, then it's a lot easier to be like, well, this needs to be, let's start with a lower amount, but like this usually needs to be a $10,000, offer because of what it's going to do for you. And it always could be much more than that, it could always go to the 15, 20, whatever. I mean, possibly, right? But at least the $10,000 mark, I would definitely see for the 6 months is the upgrade on that. And all you would have to do is convert that into something that fits just that audience. Now, one of the biggest things I sense it in you too, but like I sense for so many people that are in that situation where they go up level the program and more niche the people bringing in is the concern of a number of things, but like the biggest one usually is I don't want to leave people out. I don't want people to leave people out of this program just because they don't meet these criteria. Damn it, if I want to work with you, I will. And all that such thing. So it's like, okay, but so that would be kind of part of what to let go of and realize, okay, I know I can help them. Maybe there's some another avenue. I got free products. I've got this, I got that. I can offer these people all these things. But if you're honest about it, most of your other clients, a lot of them are healers, right? That have health issues. Because that is a perfect target market for your other program. Because you could handle both then in that program. Well, yeah, you get knocked out and you're overwhelmed by energies and then you're got bad health or whatever. Great. We're going to clear all that up and we're going to help you to get the confidence, then from there because the confidence, all this stuff, all the heart walls, everything. So I think like that would be perfect for that program. And then that one, maybe that one is more better suited to having a 3 month option at least. I mean, that I'm not as clear on, like the time frame. It's not, but 3 months speaks louder to me than 6 months personally. So with that one, I think that the opportunity to get healthy and whole and become visible has got to be worth at least 5,000. Like that's how I see it. So I would upgrade that, again, in your own timing and all that. But like that's the direction I would point out. It could even, I'm hearing six even now. So $6,000 program, because I mean it's like a no-brainer for somebody in the right position, right? Like always affordability, but like yeah, there's always somebody that can't afford something, right? So that's where they're at. But you have to take that higher stand. So I feel like you're more in alignment with offering that program right now in the ways that I just specified than with the other one. The other one I sense like a sense of like, I don't know, yeah, I like that, but so that's how what I felt, I just share what comes up. And so, but yeah, these are ways, again, when we're talking about doubling revenue, we just look at like if we just take these simple steps, like it could lead to that jump where again like every show I'm always just like yeah you could increase the price, right? But that's always the obvious one, but also targeting the right people because then the the marketing and everything can get more singular. Maybe they're both kind of similar, right? Like the higher level people are also healers and they have a health condition. Now they're just trying to like optimize like what's possible for them. They want to live their highest timeline as the through line, right? So and so do the other ones, but they're just another level, right? So you can really combine the whole thing together, and you have a, you know, it's a derogatory term. I don't really mean this literally, but like here's the kiddie pool, this program, and then you got the whatever the next pool, whatever like the adult pool or whatever. I don't know, sort of like that. I don't want to demean people that are in the other program at all, but like sort of like that idea. We start here for people that are there. It's just a better fit is probably what I should be saying. And then, people that are at a higher level can go here, and maybe one could graduate into the other then, right? So, and again, so a certain amount of this may already be happening. I totally get it. But I'm like helping flesh it out. Like there's too many disconnections, is what I sense in the through lines of the marketing and the energy is what I sense, and that's going to restrain the business to picking people off here and there kind of vibe. Oh, yeah, well, we got struck gold there and then with this one, that one, right? And then it's more sporadic. It's not, and the marketing is going to be as um, like people might guess more at what you do a little bit, like I kind of think she helps these people or those people, and so we want to get that more solid and clear. So those are some of my thoughts. I'll be quiet now and let you respond to what was coming through and what resonates, what's kind of hitting for you.
Um, I, for the price point, I think that what is meant at that price point is it is available for people, but it's also people have to be willing to make the changes. And so
Mhm.
I think when we open it up so that, it's a really, 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 really low price point, that people aren't as dedicated to the changes and to the work they actually have to do. And so
Right.
that is, a big part of being able to work with a coach is where we're giving the guidance, we're working through the health issues with you, we're working through the heart walls, we're working on the confident visibility, we're working on your purpose, we're working on your connection, your spiritual. I mean, there's so many different things and aspects to feeling into your whole self. But and when we have our sessions together, it's very high vibration. You feel amazing. Everything's good. But if you go back to your life and you're just like, okay, everything that we just did and everything we just talked about, I'm not doing in my daily life, then you just go back, right? So you have to keep the momentum going. You have to
Right.
really feel that you made an investment enough that, like, I'm not going to waste my money on a session, a coaching program that I'm not going to get anything out of because I'm not going to put the energy, the time, the emotions, raise my vibration frequency, all that kind of stuff. Because if you don't, then, I don't want you to work with me if you're not going to do that work because
Mhm.
it's really
Yeah.
pointless for both of us.
Yeah.
And so I think it is important to have a price point that it's accessible, but it's also enough that you're going to feel like I don't want to waste that amount of money if
Right.
I'm not going to get out of it what I hope to get out of it, and if I'm not willing to put in the time, energy, and all the things I
Right.
need to do to work through to bring that in. And the reason they're two separate programs is because the Joyful Healing is not about your business. That's just people who are dealing with health issues. They're fine in whatever they're doing. They might be retired, might not care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really doing all the aspects of the healing,
Mm-hmm.
body, mind,
Mm-hmm.
spirit. And
Mm-hmm.
then the joyful coaching is the healing body, mind, spirit, plus
Yeah.
the added
Yeah.
helping them put their businesses out into the world, or, generally a
Right.
spiritual type business and
Right.
coaching.
Right.
So it just has that added level of support.
Right.
So I would say, like, if I were to change the pricing, the confident visibility would be a higher ticket than the joyful healing
Mhm.
because you're getting all the joyful healing plus you're getting all of the confident visibility, entrepreneurial, helping you move
Yeah.
out and put yourself out in the world.
Mhm. Based on as they're presently constructed, those two programs, that makes complete sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just see a new vision for it all, and that's a deeper conversation. But like that's what I was guided to share with you because it just came to me. I said, well, whatever she's doing in there, this is what I sense for it.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it's great. Like what so based on what you have right now alone. Just looking at like, okay, is it accessible? Well, at 5 or 6 thousand, again, there's plenty of people that it's still going to be accessible to them. So, yeah, so just, and then 2,800 versus 3K, there's no difference really there. And then it's psychological price. I don't think people care at that point. But 3K to 5K, in the past, at least, again, this is old research, but like, um, most people aren't going to perceive that much of a difference with that either. Oh, okay, it's a few $1,000s. So I would say that would be if you implement only one thing from today is to set a time frame, like okay, in whatever amount of time, in a few months or whatever it is, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise the price. I'm going to go to 444 next or whatever, whatever aligns for you, right? So that actually happens, but like, and then go ahead and go to that next level. And then I would keep in mind what I said about how you're marketing to these people in terms of the all the languaging and all the throughput of what you're focusing on. To me, having this other program that's a side program doesn't make as much sense as what I outlined, quite frankly, but like from a business perspective. But, I know you do amazing work, and so that's what it is right now. So even if you make just that one change for right now, it would be fantastic. And guys, given that, you can get into these different opportunities with it right now, and given where it's at right now, the value you can gain from Rama, then you want to, don't walk, run, looking into joining our program. So that's what I have to share with you today, Rama, and so sounds like you might be open to at least increasing the price on the Confident Visibility program for healers, at least, right? So, all
Mhm. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, cool. So there you go. So, guys, it's really easy to be able to double your revenue with just it's a few tweaks here and there. Yes, it's not like she said, like, and they're not going to get it all done in one session necessarily. Although, I have been known to activate people quickly that are in the right position, right? That's the whole key. Like, if you're already so close, it may only take one session. But then again, if you're not really close, then yeah, we need to do deeper work. I do VIP days for people. I also work with people on a one-to-one basis that are really looking to scale a really bigger business, but maybe want to double their business in the next, 6 months or so. That may already have a business but want to get it going to the next level. And I have other opportunities for people, but those are the primary ones right now as far as business goes. So if you're interested in that or just want to connect with me more to see what I see for your business, you can always go to yoursacredpurpose.com. Go ahead and opt in today for the free meditate, make money meditation. Get your own downloads. Get your own, source code telling you what you're sensing and getting, and that'll get you started. Then when I'm making offers, I've got an offer on my website to meet with you and help you with all this. But just like you saw here, only more in depth because we have more time on that session, a paid session. But if you even just opt in, you'll get offers that'll come to you where I'm providing certain guidance or downloads or energy scans for you on a regular, semi-regular at least basis, on a regular basis. So check that out. You find out about cool summits I'm on too, just like Rama's. So definitely be checking that out. So all right, so that's all at yoursacredpurpose.com. And also, again, take advantage of everything that Rama shared earlier. That's all in the show notes below, the free gifts and the summit. So, yeah, may as well go VIP if you're going to come to the summit. So utilize that code, Spiritual Rockstar. Use all caps. Guys, figure it out. You guys could figure it out. We don't want 100 emails saying like we couldn't figure it out. You could figure it out. I imagine the technology will work just fine. So, let it be easy. Let it be simple. Just slow down and just type it in there and go ahead and get your VIP pass. You will not regret it. Okay, so Ron, I'm so grateful to have had you on the show. I'm going to give you last words. Any last words of wisdom for the audience today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My last words of wisdom is, you're worth it. And so, allow yourself to really be your own divine healer and trust that your body is not working against you and that you can feel happy, healthy, and whole. And that's what we're really here to experience. And so trust that and move through that energy because you are supported.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm so grateful that you came on. It's a wonderful, wonderful time together with you, having you on the show today, Rama.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
All right. And to the audience, like I always say, keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time. For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.